To cheer about? Well, he's from St. John, but it's the town of Woodstock that considers this next person a hockey hero. After 3 years with the Junior A Slammers, the last two as captain, Dan Dooley is moving on. But as Andy Wilson tells us, Woodstock will never forget him. Not necessarily for what he did on the ice.
Unless you live in Woodstock, chances are you don't know who Dan Dooley is. But here at Centennial Elementary, he's a big deal.
He's our local celebrity in the school. When he walks through the doors, everybody knows that he's here. It's whisperings, Dan Dooley's here, Dan Dooley's here, everywhere we go.
Dan has volunteered as an in-school mentor at Centennial Elementary for the last 2 years, much to the delight of guidance counselor Craig Young.
The students that he has worked with, they're kids that are, struggle academically, struggle behaviorally, and Dan just welcomes them with open arms, and we've seen huge gains in these children.
But that's just the start of Dan Dooley's community service. He's also been a big brother to Damien Taberge for the past 2 years. Damien's cool with whatever they're doing, as long as they're doing it together.
Mostly stuff with play. Sometimes go down to the computer room and just goof off on the computers. And he's been a really good mentor.
Dan Dooley has given so much to the community that now the community is giving back.
As a corporate citizen of town, wanted to present you with a little something to help you with your education this coming fall. And
thank you very much. I appreciate
wish
that.
you all the best and good luck with it. He's gone far and beyond the call of duty as being not only a junior hockey player with the Slammers, but also as captain of the team, and what he has done, and especially here with the school and with Damien.
Teresa Blackburn knew Dan as a student at Woodstock Community College, where she's an instructor. She found out more from her son and his road hockey pals.
They always fight over who's going to be Dan Dooley, so I thought it would be really cool if I came home one night and said, well, when you play hockey, I got a little present for you. I had no sense of, who this guy was. I mean, I passed him in the hall at the college, but the more I dug, I couldn't get over what an exceptional young man he was. And then it was like, okay, we got to get Dan Dooley down here for some road hockey.
Needless to say, Dan came and played for an hour and a half. And it's not just kids who benefit from his volunteer efforts. Cindy Young's family has billeted Dan for the past 2 seasons.
We have a few widowers on the street. He goes, we have snowstorms, which we had a lot of this year, shoveled constantly.
What is it that drives Dan Dooley to devote so much of his time and energy to the community?
I've always lived by a certain, I call it the code, everyone else calls it the golden rule kind of thing. But do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And I guess that's, I've been following that, and it's helped me out so far, and I wouldn't change my life for anything, so.
Slammers head coach Jason Tatarnik is the man who brought Dan Dooley to Woodstock 3 years ago after recruiting him and drafting him from the St. John AAA Midgets. He knows all about Dan's off-ice service.
And we'll get back from the road trip at 3 o'clock in the morning, and if he has a scheduled Big Brother session, he's there. He doesn't sleep in, he doesn't miss it. He'll have his 4 hours of sleep, and he's there first thing in the morning.
On the ice, Tatarnik knew he had a winner from the start.
As an 18-year-old rookie, he played against every top 4 there was in the league, and he was able to shut him down. So, it speaks volumes about him.
Now comes the hard part. Dan's junior eligibility is over. So, too, is his time in Woodstock.
It kills you. It really does. You're a part of a big, like I said, a big family here,
When they leave, it's like losing one of your own, like your own going off to school or whatever, and Dan is like one of ours, and it's just like we had to shed a few tears.
Dan Dooley begins his university hockey career at Brock this fall, but Woodstock will always remember him. Andy Wilson, CBC News, Woodstock.